I don't think anybody looks good from this angle. You get a perspective that you've never seen before and that you might never want to see again. But technically, it's doing an alright job, isn't it? For the last 3 months, I've been testing the Insta360 X5 in all kinds of environments. And my overall impression is that this is the kind of camera that you can take anywhere and pretty much do anything you want of it. So right now, talking to camera thing, you just put it in single lens. So you only use the one lens and it focuses on, in my case, my face. But like, you can turn it around and, like a normal camera, most. And I kind of want to see how good the microphone is. It's got a couple of microphones for a 360-degree sound. And I want to see what the image quality is. My dog wants to see what the image quality is. But you can also take it in 360 mode in 8K. Right, so now we're in 360. You get the full glory of the surroundings. I'm gonna edit it so that we start with a similar point of view as we had before, and then we go to like the glory that is 360. This is where you get to like use this camera for its intended purpose, I guess, and bring it to pretty much a cave, and it will still light and it will still expose for the right things, and you can take it underwater into really weird situations and into really dark situations, and it will expose for it alright, and you will get, depending on what mode you put it in, you get something really weird and 360 and kind of bizarre. Or if you want it just to be an action camera, you can put it into like single lens mode and film and get something much more usual. And it's almost like bringing several cameras with you. Now, what the X5 does differently than the X4 is, like, the X4 obviously had similar things, but I think the X4 did them all not quite well enough. Some things it did well, but most things it's kind of like in 8K mode it broke down. Whenever you asked it to do HDR stuff, it broke down. It didn't seem to have, like, it had the potential, but not the actual power to do it. So it kind of like, you had the idea like, oh, this could be good, but then a lot of the time it didn't deliver. Whereas with the X5, it not only has the potential, it has the actual ability to do it. And I reckon that's because it has a couple of extra chips to help interpret the images and help interpret the frames and help interpret all those pixels that it's kind of like having to record. And having that kind of capability in your hands really liberates you to explore the possibilities of a camera like this. And because it can do things that no other camera can do, it kind of opens up this whole new world of like angles and weird stuff that you can come up with. And that sets you free to really experiment. Like, I found that I grabbed this camera more and more just to play with, just to explore the options. Like, this is the kind of camera that you use just for fun. You have this quick little idea, or because you see it doing something and you see the files on your computer and you go like, oh, it can do that, or oh, that actually looks good. And all of a sudden you kind of go like, oh, I wonder what else it can do. I wonder if it can do, I wonder what it does with this environment. I wonder what it does in this angle. I wonder what it does. And you come up with all kinds of weird stuff. You throw it at it, and it can handle it. So I tried it in clear blue water, and obviously it works really well there. But then I tried it also like in the green waters of Cornwall. And in situations where, the visibility wasn't perfect, or situations where like you're in a tight environment, or in a weird environment, like in quite a dark, narrow cave. And every time you can just kind of trust this camera to deal with it. I've used it in pools, I've used it outside to walk with and to do experiments with. I've used it to do star lapses. And no matter what you throw at it, it seems to be able to handle it. So where I thought the X4 was weird, good sometimes, but mostly weird, this one is mostly good. And then also weird, but like it does the weird things very well as well. Where it's not so good is, even though I admire the fact that they made a housing just for this camera, as soon as you take that housing out of the water, or you work in like quite watery environments, droplets will form on that housing. So that's still a negative. The housings are very, very susceptible to scratches. That's very scary. And the camera itself, because the lens is so exposed. So if you drop this camera and the lens cracks, you're in a world of hurt. Now, so it's not the type of action camera that you just throw into your bag. You have to be a little bit more careful with this camera. It comes with its own protection, so you don't have to be quite as delicate with it, but once you take the protection off and you start filming, you still have to be quite careful with it. In that regard, it's not an action camera. But even if you do get it busted up, you can order a lens replacement kit, and you can replace the lenses yourself. So as far as the negative sides of this camera go, it's actually not that bad. So the positives are very positive, they're very good. And the negatives are, you can work around them. I would go as far as to say, so with the insta360 X4, I would not have recommended that as your primary camera. Like, you can have your action camera, and that's probably more suitable for most of your shots. And then you take the X4 and you do some weird bits with it. But I reckon that this camera is so good that, like, if you were to ask me, you can only have one action camera, I think I'd go for this one. I think I'd go for the X5 because it can do this kind of stuff, like me talking to it and blogging and vlogging, and it has good microphones and it picks up my voice well and it exposes for my face well. If I go into the single lens mode, it can do quite normal stuff. But then if I wanted to, I can switch recording modes. I can go 360. I can get my whole environment in, and it can do stuff that no other action camera can. So now you have a camera that can do action camera stuff, and it can do 360 stuff. So I reckon the insta360 X5 can replace all of them. Now, if you have the budget, I would also get an action camera, because then you have something that you can just throw in your bag and you don't have to worry about it quite as much. And also, I think with the 360 images, if you're not into editing your footage and you're not into like determining your angles and everything, it's an extra step you have to take. I, for one, enjoy taking that step. I enjoy the process of filming in 360 and then editing it so that it follows the right action, and like I find that fun to do. I find that this camera brings me a lot of joy, not just in the shooting, but also in the editing. I enjoy that bit. If you're not into that kind of stuff, then a 360 camera is probably not for you, and then I wouldn't get this camera just as an action camera. Like, the dedicated action cameras are still better, obviously, at just being an action camera. But if you're into action camera stuff and 360 camera stuff, and you're into underwater stuff, then this is pretty much your only option. Like, I know GoPro does a 360 camera, I know DJI do a 360 camera. And they might go underwater, but underwater they won't work as 360 cameras because water refracts 30 degrees or something like that. And you need that special housing. Neither of those brands do a special housing. This is the only camera that will allow you to go underwater and still do 360, have that invisible pole, and make those kind of images that no other brand can do. So if you're in the market for that kind of stuff, you have no other option. And luckily, the only option you have, this one, the Insta360 X5, is now a really good option. So I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this camera. It is a camera that will allow you to film action, that will allow you to film 360. It does it well. You can trust it to do it well in auto settings. You don't have to mess around with log footage, and you don't have to mess around with colors and everything. It will do it well. It has a good program for editing the footage. You can have fun with it. Like, that's one of the things that I like most about this camera. It makes shooting stuff fun again. I've had so much fun and so much joy working with this camera that I cannot recommend it highly enough. All this footage you see in this video was shot on an Insta360 X5. Insta360 have asked me to make this video and have paid me to make this video. But they do not get to see this video before I publish it, and they do not have editorial control over the video. All the opinions that I express are my own, and they've had no influence on that.